I'm here with Dr. Jan White. She's talking about shingles.
I am, and I'm really excited about this topic. I got a whole box of presentation material.
Only you can be excited.
I really am. I got a whole box of presentation materials.
Oh, good.
From the American Pain Association, yes.
When I think about shingles, I think about, is that something older people get, and it's quite painful, I've heard.
Well, older adults are more susceptible.
Okay.
And a lot of this I learned from not only the materials from the American Pain Association. They're encouraging gerontologists to go out into the community with the presentation materials they've provided and start giving briefings to the community. And so I'm looking forward to doing that.
And pay attention, like last time we talked about certain events, and it's like, well, Frank can relate to them. Well, today you mentioned shingles, and he goes, hey, guess what I just did?
Yeah, and I'm going to cover that in just a minute.
Good, okay.
But I want the viewers to know that I also supplemented this research with the Mayo Clinic Journal and the Cleveland Clinic Journal of Medicine. Okay?
Great.
So I have a lot of notes. Shingles, the proper name is herpes zoster.
No wonder they call it shingles.
Yeah, so we don't, we don't want to talk about herpes because herpes is something else.
You just think STD, terrible,
so let's
stay away.
We're just going to use the nickname shingles for this presentation, okay? Now, you asked me a question earlier about what the cause of shingles is. Right, because there is a misconception that, oh, well, he or she was nervous or they had a bad,
they were
stressed out. No, that is not what causes it. The cause of shingles is from having chicken pox earlier in life, and then the immune system becomes suppressed. And those chicken pox that were latent all those years come back with a vengeance as shingles.
What exactly is a shingle?
Well, shingles start out as a pain or a tingling or maybe even an itching in a certain area.
Okay.
And usually a person will not seek medical attention just for those vague symptoms.
They don't think anything of it.
And then a few days later, or maybe a week later, these little blisters start appearing either in that region or near that region.
Okay.
And then they should definitely seek medical help. And the reason you want to seek medical help is it's very painful. Once those blisters appear, oh my God, I've had shingles, and it's almost like childbirth.
You're kidding.
It is. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 12.
It's that painful.
It is that painful.
Now, when they come up, is it just a little bit of area? Is it a lot?
Well,
is it all over?
It varies. And I looked at different pictures, and it varies from people being completely covered with blisters to people having maybe just a few blisters and maybe even not a lot of pain. But for most people, it is very, very painful.
Do they itch?
Sometimes they do itch, but it's just
more pain.
Because what happens is those chicken pox, when they're latent, they go to the nerve endings.
Okay.
And so when there is an outbreak of shingles, those nerve endings are inflamed.
They're mad.
And they are mad, and the pain is absolutely incredible.
Goodness.
So the reason that the risk is greater as we age is that our immune system is actually waning.
Okay.
And so the older you get, the more susceptible you are to get them. There's about 1 million cases of shingles a year.
Wow.
And 50% of those are people age 60 and over.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you
50%.
reach the age of 85, you're very likely to have shingles. 1 out of 2 people age 85 and over will develop shingles. And this is where we have complications.
Okay.
Because the pain is far greater in this age group than it is among younger individuals.
All right.
Okay. Now, there are antiviral drugs that you can take, and there are cortisone drugs and pain medicines.
Do people just know to take these, or once you hit a certain age?
Once you see those blisters, you have to seek medical help, because if you don't, then there is a complication from shingles called post-herpetic neuralgia, or PHN.
What does that mean?
This is nerve damage.
Okay.
And this is unrelenting and can last anywhere from weeks to years.
Oh my.
And it is basically the same type of pain that people have with shingles.
How do they handle that?
Well, let me tell you, it's not easy. It interrupts your life, and some people even have to be hospitalized.
Okay.
So now I want to tell you the good news.
Now I'm itching. No.
The good news is there is a vaccine.
Well, that is good news.
And I had good news from Frank. Frank told me that he had seen his primary care physician, and she recommended the shingles vaccine to him. So she is a very smart lady, because the medical community really does need to be recommending this for older people because they're more susceptible.
Right.
And so...
now, is this a yearly vaccination that you have to take?
No, this is a one-time.
Oh.
Isn't that great? Now, here's
You can watch us all rush out right now and get it.
If you're 60 and over,
okay,
then you should have a discussion with your primary care physician.
Okay, and hope you don't get it before you turn 60.
Yeah, I really don't know. I didn't find anything in the literature about younger people getting a shingles vaccine.
You would think, why don't they just give someone in their 40s or 50s immediately the vaccination, and then they don't have to worry about it the rest of their life?
But I do know that there is a chickenpox vaccine for children, and so it would make sense that if you don't want your children to have shingles, then you'd better get this chickenpox vaccine.
So if you've never had chickenpox, is there a chance you'll have shingles?
No,
It's not a possibility.
Okay. No, but they are finding older adults who cannot remember if they've had shingles, and they do. Chickenpox, and they do recommend that they go ahead and have it anyway if you can't remember.
Okay.
But
I've had chickenpox.
But here's some good news, Gloria. This vaccine, Frank just told me that Medicare covered it. Now, it was about a $200 shot.
Ooh.
Okay? Now, the average cost, according to the literature, is $155.
Okay.
Okay, that is kind of high, but
I'd save up for that. Forget the pain.
That offsets not only the pain and all the misery that you have to go through, but that does offset all the drugs, because the shingles drugs are very expensive.
Gotcha.
So
not only do you have shingles, you have the pain and then the expense of the expensive medication.
Right. So Frank said that he took his prescription, and you do need a prescription for this vaccine.
Okay.
He took the prescription to Athens Pharmacy.
Okay.
And Medicare covered all but about $6. Yeah, isn't that
Great.
wonderful?
That is wonderful.
That is great.
That's
now,
goodness.
I went ahead, because I have a suppressed immune system,
Okay.
I had to pay for my vaccine, and I was more than happy to pay for that. Dave had to pay for his.
Now, you got the vaccination after you already had shingles?
Yes, I've had shingles many, many times, but the physician said, well, let's try it and see if this helps. And I'm on the antiviral every day.
Okay.
To try and manage my outbreaks. But the great thing is that if you are an older adult and you've never had shingles, talk to your physician about getting this vaccine. I think that's very, very important. And if there are any nonprofit groups or church groups who want me to come and use these great materials from the American Pain Association, I would love to start giving these presentations.
Okay,
they
great.
sent me the PowerPoints, the handouts, everything. I mean, I'm just ready to go.
She's ready to go.
I just need to start booking them.
Teach everybody about shingles, how not to get them. Okay, great. Dr. Jan White, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Frank, I'm glad you got that vaccination.
I am so glad.
Yeah. I had
very
chickenpox.
smart.
So now, does that mean I'm probably going to get shingles?
Well, later on, you can get your vaccine.
Okay, thank you, Jan.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Johnny Lee Dees is here, so we'll be talking to him. And he's had shingles, so he'll be able to tell you experience how painful they were, but he did good. Sorry, John. Okay, we'll be right back.